Hey, hey, I'm Shinjiitsu. I want to get some of these. I'm going to do a little bit more grinding today. I need to get these, I need to go get me a couple of orbs. I think I can awaken this fool. Can I? Yeah. Okay, great. Explosive chain battle might be dropping tonight. I hope it does. Only have one. It's a silver though. I'll probably do this run like probably 15-20 times. See if anybody comes in the chat. Have a little bit more of my discussion tonight. We got the screen split already. I'm glad we got it before we got anyone in here. That screen split action. That screen split action. No one likes that. I was thinking more about that Wonder Woman movie, so just in case if anyone watches this back later. Oh, nice. In the last stream, we talked a lot about not only my manga that I write, but the DC Comics films that I want to produce in about 20 years. And we were going over Wonder Woman. And I'm thinking more about that film. I'm almost thinking like I may just simplify it a little more. But I know that I want the basic point to be that you have Ares, and he's trying to get Diana to die. First he uses Giganta, then he uses the Silver Swan. Now, what I was going to do at the end of the movie in the third act was have her have to go back to Themyscira to basically prove that what Ares did was obviously wrong, but I forgot where I was actually going, because where we end that movie is that the whole point that they're trying to instill in Diana is that the old gods are trying to instill. Is that a 6? I've never seen a 6. That's top tier right there. But the whole point of the movie is Diana she's a god that wants to be human. And the old gods are trying to explain to her, like, we understand how you feel, but we need you to be ready to take on the responsibility of godhood at any time. Because, Diana's more like, I just want to, chill with my sisters, protect my sisters if I have to, but, just live peacefully. But, she doesn't understand the whole big picture. Because they've kind of not really told her about it. But so I think I would essentially keep it all the exact same. And then at the end of the movie, in the third act, Ares will have gathered enough power to invade the Mascara. Excuse me. I'm thinking how I want to work that, how simple I want to keep it. I'm thinking about how simple I would want to keep that, because the whole point is I want her to basically have to explain herself in front of her sisters, who are basically like, if you were here, then Ares could have never done this. And she's like, yeah, but I have to be able to. And like, yeah, but like all this is just like, yo, what's up, Undertale Pro? I'm right now. I'm just talking about my last stream, I was talking about two things. I was talking about my Dragon Ball manga spinoff of my manga for my Dragon Ball. It's like a spinoff manga. And then I was like, in 20 years, I would like to be the producer for DC and take over. So I'm explaining the first movie, which is Wonder Woman. But, since you're here first, Undertale Pro, we can talk about what you want to talk about. So we could talk about the DC movies I want to produce. We can talk about the manga. We can talk about anything. We don't have to talk about either. We can talk about some Dokkan stuff. What's on your mind, bro? What you want to hear about, bro? You know what I'm saying? I can talk about either. We can talk about anything. Shin, he said, I don't know, LMAO. Oh, shit. Well, let me just continue with what I was talking about. We may switch the style up later the more people come in. But So one thing I think that DC goes wrong with their movies is they don't have like an overarching point, right? And I'm sure that James Gunn will change that up, but I still don't think that they're going to go the direction that I'm going to go in. So the whole point of the first stage of this DC event is that the old gods are becoming weak, the new gods are becoming stronger, And they're not gonna. And what the old gods have done for the past millennia is hold up a barrier, so that way other extraterrestrials out in the universe would not know about Earth's whereabouts. That's what the old gods have been doing in Olympus, which is like a pocket reality in Earth. So that's what the gods were doing. In the Wonder Woman movie, the point that they're trying to instill in her is that, like, Diana, we need you to be ready to be, like, take on godhood at any time. Like, we may not be here all the time for you. And I think this would be like a cool Wonder Woman movie, because she would be limited in a way. So in the first Wonder Woman movie, she has all her basic Amazonian stuff, and she basically has like super strength, super durability. But in order for her to use like certain things, she has to call on them. So she has to be like the strength, you know, the speed of Hermes, and then she can have super speed for like a short amount of time, or else she can have like flight for a short amount of time. So she can use all this stuff for like a short amount of time. Oh, nice. Or like for her to use the power with her bracelets, that's something that she can't do just over and over again. Not at first. Not until we get to the third Wonder Woman movie does she have her full abilities at will. But we'll get to why that happens. So in this movie, I'm going to break it down real simple how this would work. The main villain of the movie is Ares. Kind of like in the first Wonder Woman movie, but not in the same way. He's in Hades, and he's been casted away for his crimes. His crimes is way back in the day. He tried to invade the Themyscira and take the power of war by waging war on Themyscira, and use that power to invade Olympus and take over the god's place. That was his plan. But Diana and the Amazonians stopped him. So now it's been, multiple thousands of more years, and Diana's just living on Themyscira, and she watches over humanity because she really loves them with like a passion. She kind of feels like she's their sister and she wants to be their homie, but she can't leave Themyscira. She's not supposed to. Well, Sirio XD, what's up, bro? Did you see the video? Did you see the video, Sirio XD? I don't know if you saw the video, bro. But if you did, I hope you liked it. Figuratively and literally. You're trying my team, but you're failing because of physical cooler. Well, sometimes it is RNG, but are you running the same rotations and are you using the items? If you have to, Suryo, in the first 2 rounds, use double items. Got any ways to grind Dragon Stones on Global? I don't play Global, so it's hard to know over there, but just like over here, go into your missions tab and I'll show you what to do. You're going to go into your missions tab and it'll tell you all the stones available to you in the game. Have you done all of the All-Star EZA? Have you done that all the way to level 999? If not, those are free stones you can get. That's just like one thing. Somehow he attacks every time he takes 500k. Oh, you're talking about the physical free-to-play cooler? Yeah, dude, he needs to be leveled up to super attack 15. He needs to have defensive equipment, And he also needs to have links a minimum level 5. All of them, minimum. And you may have to just play with that and rotate him off sometimes. So, what Ares realizes is that as long as Diana is alive, he will never be able to take over Olympus. He feels like that with all the power that he's amassed over the millennia of humanity waging wars, he may be able to amass a big enough army to take over Olympus for a short enough time to get the power he needs to take it over all the way. But he has to get Diana out of the way. She has too much power. So, he conspires with two of the other demigods to basically kill Diana. But they discuss that they can't make it look like they did it, or else it'll be obvious. They have to make it look like the humans did it, because not only will that allow for him to have a gateway to take over Olympus, it'll make Zeus, who loves the humans as well, very sad and stuff, right? So it'll make them weak, and that'll provide them the opportunity to attack. So their plan is to first get Diana away from Themyscira, isolate her from the sisters, then break her spirit, then break her body. So, in order to isolate her from Themyscira, what Ares does is he uses the little bit of power he has to teleport from Hades into Olympus. He gets an Olympian phoenix and teleports it into Earth. The Phoenix is going crazy and wreaking havoc. So Diana's like, hey, this is like something Themysciran. She has to go. So they let Diana go and check it out. But this is what we'll do to show why they have to send Diana. First, Diana will say that she wants to go because she's the strongest Themysciran. And then her mama's like, no, we'll send someone else. They send the sister. She gets hurt by the Phoenix. She falls in the ocean. She's like knocked out. Then Diana's like, let me go. So then they let her go. She goes and saves the sister first. Then she goes and then she fights the Phoenix. She gets the Phoenix and then she's able to fight it, brings it down. And then of course the Phoenix dies and is reborn as a little Phoenix. She takes it back to Olympus. She goes back to Themyscira and she she pleads with the board on the Themyscirans and says, hey, look, we don't know what's going on or why that happened. Let me go over there and let me investigate. When really she just wants to go over there to be over there because she's been wanting to be a part of humanity. After they deliberate and reluctantly they let her go. So she goes and she's doing a little bit of investigation, but she gets caught up because she loves humanity so much. She's having a good time, right? She decides to just go by Diana. As she's watching, she knows to blend in, she has to get a job, so she just gets a job as a receptionist at a medical facility. So then that way she can hear whenever people are hurt or like if something crazy is going on as well. Etta Candy is a nurse there and they become friends. She ends up getting an apartment and living right next door to her and spending a lot of time with her and just kind of hanging out with her. As she's doing this, what Ares now does is Ares takes the form, or he kind of uses he uses one of the I'm talking about what I want to do in my Wonder Woman movie. So as we were talking about in the last stream, Yes, RTN, we were talking about the Dragon Ball manga, but then me and Kieran were talking about that. What I want to do in the future in about 20 years is take over DC Comics, and I want to redo all the films. So I'm talking about the Wonder Woman film.
Frieza says, hello, monkey. Hello, monkey.
Okay, hello, Lord Frieza. Black Frieza, my nigga Frieza. What's good? Welcome to the stream. So, yes, this is how I would do it. And the whole point of Wonder Woman being the first film is the whole overarching story of the first phase of the DC Comics is that, it's about the old gods are becoming weak and the new gods are trying to break into our part of the universe. What do I think of physical golden Frieza? Are you referring to the Golden Frieza from the Tournament of Power? So, as Wonder Woman, she's going by Diana Prince now. As she's just kind of living in the city, she's not really... Wow, there's a gold defense now. 1,500. That's sick. So what do I think of that Golden Frieza? I think that Golden Frieza is actually quite marvelous when you have his dupes filled out 79% or above. Now, he's marvelous in longer events and where he can evade. I would say even in Cell Max. You know what? Maybe I'll take him into Cell Max and see how well he fares, because I think that he could do fairly well. I think I maybe will build him out to evade. He'll be one of the best units in the game after an EZA, but I do think he's very good. I think he needs a buddy. He could really benefit from like a first slot buddy. But, you know, to have some fun with him, I would take in a Wicked Bloodline team all physical in Super Battle Road and kind of see how that feels. So, Diana's kind of fighting crime, but not really, because she's not supposed to be being noticed, right? And even though she's having fun, it kind of getting to know humanity. Just change your PFP after 2 years. Amen. Awesome. So, like, she's getting to know humanity, and she's just kind of getting, you know, she's just kind of trying to keep the lowest profile that she can. Well, what Ares does is one time she's at a restaurant, and what a waiter comes by and he does is he spikes her drink, right? So he spikes her drink, and then what they do is they construct. So I don't know if you guys have ever had your blood taken, but if you ever had your blood taken from your finger, they had this little device. It just pricks your finger to get a little bit of blood. Well, what Ares does is he makes this device, but he constructs it out of Amazonian steel so it can pierce her skin, right? Now, because she's Wonder Woman, he's aware she's only going to be knocked out for probably 5 minutes at most. So he puts it in her drink. She kind of gets sleepy. She knocks out for a couple minutes, gets a little bit of her blood, and he puts it in a vial and he walks off. Whenever she wakes up, she's like, what the hell happened? And she doesn't really know. And she heals super fast, so she's already healed. She doesn't even realize that she's been pricked. And then what Ares does with this blood is he takes this girl that is essentially in a wheelchair and like does not have control of her body. She has a bad condition, and Dr. Psycho consults with Dr. Ivo, and he uses this stuff to inject it into her. And his point was they're trying to make another Wonder Woman to kill Diana, but instead this creates Giganta. So I don't know if y'all are familiar with the character Giganta, but this creates Giganta. Giganta goes crazy and she starts wreaking havoc in the city. Diana sees what's happening and she goes and fights Giganta. It's a formidable foe, but she does win. Now, in this fight, there's a girl who, now the thing about Wonder Woman is she was in humanity at one time. Like, if y'all see the first Wonder Woman where she came to help in World War I, she did do that. That was when Ares tried to take over, right? So some people know who Wonder Woman is, but they know her as like a legend. So she has like a little fan base. So there's this girl who's a big Wonder Woman fan, and she sees that Wonder Woman is fighting via like TikTok and via like YouTube. She sees that there's a live fight between Wonder Woman and some gigantic woman. So she takes the train down there and she goes up. She tries to get pictures of Wonder Woman, and then whenever she goes up, she's like goes underneath the little building and she's stunned to see Wonder Woman. And then as they're fighting, some debris falls on her and it makes her hurt like really bad. So once Wonder Woman is done with this fight, like that girl is hurt, but like Wonder Woman doesn't really realize that she's hurt. And then she goes to check, and then whenever the paramedics come to look, you know, they find her underneath the rubble and they take her away. But like by then Wonder Woman was already basically chasing Dr. Psycho, trying to figure out what happened instead of going to check on them. So after that, Wonder Woman basically starts fighting crime more often. She just says screw it, and she starts fighting way more crime. So then she kind of starts becoming more famous. And then since that plan didn't work, Ares uses his plan B, and he uses some of his power. He uses Amazonian steel, and then he goes to the girl who just got hurt, and then he basically convinces her that it's Wonder Woman's fault she got hurt, and Wonder Woman didn't even care or even think to check on her. Like, she's seen all these interviews with Wonder Woman, and she hasn't even cared to try to check on this girl who was hurt. So the girl gets upset, and then she basically makes a deal with the devil. She makes a deal with Ares that she will basically let, like, be his slave if she can have the power to fight like Wonder Woman, because she wants to take Wonder Woman's place now. So she does this. She basically makes a deal that she'll take these powers, but she has to kill Wonder Woman. So she takes these powers and she becomes the Silver Swan. The Silver Swan goes to fight Wonder Woman. They fight, and then basically from that fight, because she's being powered by Ares, Wonder Woman is able to, like, you know, and she's been fighting in the media because some people have been slandering her, and that's been kind of hurting her. But she fights this, and then she, like, realizes, like, hey, like, this is not, like, me doing all this stuff. Like, look at who this is. This is crazy. With this Silver Swan. So she has to defeat the Silver Swan. Once she does that, they take her away. But then while she's fighting the Silver Swan, Ares has been using the, like, energy, like the war energy from that fight, to power up himself enough to go into Themyscira, because in Themyscira there's a power source and a portal that can lead him right into Olympus. So he goes to, like, Themyscira, and he's kind of trying to do that. So then once Wonder Woman realizes that, she uses the power she has to fly to Themyscira. And then she has to basically confront Ares and all that. Zeus comes down, and then they basically all talk to each other. Zeus and them and the whole and now Zeus loves humanity, but a lot of the other gods are not really into that. So, especially one of them who doesn't like humanity at all. So there's also politics going on with the gods already. So Zeus basically takes care of Hades, like, and all the gods, but the gods kind of say that it's Diana's fault that this happened and that Ares got so close, because she was out there doing all this stuff instead of being in Themyscira where she's supposed to be. So they basically give her a choice. They say, look, if you love humanity so much, you can go live with them, but you're never to return here, because now, because you've been out there, they know too much about us, and we can't risk somebody following you here and, like, risking exposing the location of Themyscira. So she basically says fine. Like, she goes back to humanity, because she's like, y'all don't understand, like, the threats that they may have. So she goes back to humanity. In the post-credit scene, what we see is the gods that are holding the barrier that is keeping Earth hidden from some of the other dimensions and some of the other galaxies. They're starting to get a little bit weaker, and that barrier is starting to, like, falter. So that's how the post-credit scene ends. The next movie in the DC Comics line is the Batman film. Now, Batman is going to be awesome. Now, the purpose of the Batman film is, the whole overarching villain of the first phase is Vandal Savage. Now, before I keep going, are y'all following me here? Are y'all still with me? Are y'all still with me? Okay? Do you want me to change up what I'm talking about? Is this boring you? Are y'all still with me? Before I go to the Batman movie. Shouts out to Matt Reeves in the Batman 2022. Amazing film. Yeah, Undertale Pro said we with you. He said we with you, bro. He said we with you. Let me make sure everybody's still with me, dog. Nah, bro, 2 a.m. Listening is relaxing. Facts, okay, you know what I'm saying? So, now we're going to go to the Batman movie. This movie is awesome. Now, I don't know if y'all are familiar with Vandal Savage, but the backstory of Vandal Savage is that he is from ancient times, from caveman times. And there was a big meteor that came to Earth that was actually made of radiated nth metal, and he touched it, and it like activated some stuff in him, and it also increased his power that made him basically immortal, so he cannot die. So if y'all don't know about Vandal Savage, y'all can just type in Vandal Savage. Y'all can look at what he looks like. That's Vandal Savage. So we can take a look at the Batman movie here. I'm going to bring up a graphic for the Batman movie. Oh, look at this. This is a really good equipment right here. Is it double fives? Yeah. So let me see if I can't bring up the Batman graphic that I made a while ago. And it's really awesome because Matt Reeves did some things in the Batman that I already wanted to do. So there's some things I would change. I haven't touched this graphic in a while because I made this story a long time ago. But let me see if I downloaded it by chance. It doesn't look like I did. It does not appear so, friend. So let me go grab it from the internets. Let me go grab it from the infonets. So then y'all can kind of get an idea of how I built the Batman movie. So the point of the Batman movie is many villains in Gotham have gotten a lot more money lately, and even using his powers as Bruce Wayne, he's encountering a lot of blocks trying to figure out where the heck they're getting all this money and who is orchestrating all this stuff in Gotham. So this leads Batman into like the Alps and like the mountains where it's like snowing, and he actually ends up tracking Deathstroke. The reason why he's tracking Deathstroke is he finds out that Slade has been getting money from that same source to do jobs. So he figures if he can find that source from Deathstroke, then he can figure out who that is or who this company is. So let's go ahead and pull up the graphic now. So this is a detective movie, but with a lot of action. So here's the graphic, just so y'all can see this real quick. Now, we have the main villains of this movie is Black Mask and Mr. Freeze. In the very beginning, we have Batman tracking Deathstroke. He finds Deathstroke, and they have an altercation. They have a fight in the very beginning. It's sick. In this fight, Batman, they have a really cool, nice fight. It's like a one shot. If you have seen Daredevil on on the like Netflix back in the day, like that level of fight, it's that type of level. I'm gonna shrink this a little bit so we can see, Dokkan a little bit too. And let me just move this over. Right. So he fights the Deathstroke. He ends it with flash bombs that blow off Deathstroke's mask, and then it gives him that scar over his eye. And he wins, and he's able to get the information. He's able to download the information from Deathstroke's little, communication kit as to who was funneling him the money. At least all he finds is a company. So he finds this company, and he decides, okay, now I have to research who this company is. I got to get back to the Batcave. So whenever Batman's going back to the Batcave, he's talking to Robin. Now, we are going to put Robin in this movie, but Robin is 17 years old. So he's kind of old, and he's kind of done being Robin. So his next appearance after this will be as Nightwing. The very next appearance will be as Robin, but the one after that will be as Nightwing. So this is kind of like an older Robin, but he's been holding down the fort in Gotham while Batman's been gone investigating. So they're kind of talking about everything that's been going on in Gotham. So he tells Batman that the Joker is has the mayor held up, and he's doing something. So then we have this like opening montage of just like Batman has like a little monologue about how Gotham has been and what he's doing, and like why he's doing what he's doing, and why he can't stop and stuff like that. So then we have a scene where Batman drops in on the Joker. He defeats the Joker, locks the Joker up in Arkham, and then he gets to Arkham and he talks to Jeff Gordon, and they're discussing everything in Gotham. He tells Jeff Gordon that he's got a little bit further on his investigation as to what that company was that he's been investigating that's been screwing up Gotham. So he tells Batman, all right, great. He tells him, like, let me know if I can help. So then we go to Black Mask. Black Mask is one of the prime candidates that's been getting all this money. And he's trying to use this money to basically take over Gotham and make it his own city. What he's doing is he realizes that he has to kill this bat. He's like, we got to kill the bat because he's doing too much, obviously, right? He wants to enlist different goons and stuff like that, and he does have a Zoom call in this movie. So we have our first cameo of two other major villains in the next two movies. We have our first cameo of Lex Luthor and T.O. Morrow. So Black Mask has a Zoom call with Lex Luthor and T.O. Morrow, and well, actually, no, that's not true. That's not true. The cameo by Lex Luthor is in the Gotham newspaper, and the cameo with T.O. Morrow is via Zoom with Black Mask. Because they're both in cahoots, because T.O. Morrow is doing money laundering, because he's like a rich influencer in Central City. So he realizes he has to kill the bat, and they've been trying to hire assassins, but they haven't found anyone who can really do it. So the only person he knows that might have the actual capability to put the bat on his knees is Victor Freeze. But Victor Freeze is not really a bad guy. So what he does, but see, Victor Freeze, Mr. Freeze, his wife is basically dead almost, but she's in cryosleep. She has a bad disease. So he's trying to fix her. He has her in cryosleep. He tells Freeze that he will pay for all of his research and his facilities to fix his wife, but he has to kill the bat. At the very least, he has to incapacitate him long enough for Black Mask to do what he needs to do, but really he needs to kill him. So, at the very least, he has to get the Batman and bring him to Black Mask. So, basically the movie follows Batman being a detective, going around Gotham, trying to kind of figure out where and why this money is being funneled in, and what are the purposes. He has a lot of high-speed battles, car chases with Dr. Freeze, Black Mask. Takes a few L's, and he ends up how the movie basically ends. Like there's a lot that would go on in this Batman movie. Like that would be basically the beginning would be building up to that. The second act of the movie would be the ambush on Batman. So they would basically set him up and then ambush him, try to take him out. Batman would go back to the Batcave and reconvene, rethink about how he's approaching this situation, get himself some new gadgets, of course. He is able to flex some powers as Bruce Wayne now that he knows that company, to try to block some purchases, to try to cut them off where he can. And then that opens up a new can of worms, but at least Batman is doing his best. Once he goes back and attacks them, he realizes that what he tries to do is he tries to give Mr. Freeze a grant that pays for his research. So then that way he no longer has to, because he realized what Black Mask is doing. But then what Black Mask ends up doing is he steals his wife and he holds her cryogenic thing hostage and says, you have to kill him or I'm going to kill her. So then we have another fight. Batman basically ends up winning more or less, but he just convinces Victor to stop this, because he is a good person. How long are your movies? 2 hours or 4 hours? Because you have a lot of plot. these hours are about these films are about 2.5 hours. You know, this is just first act, second act, third act. The only movies that would be about that would be 3 hours would be like the Justice League movies. And but no, these movies are only about 2.5 hours. So you figure you have 45 minutes of first act, 45 minutes second act, 45 minutes of the third act, you know? Like that. So we have 45 minutes for that to build. We have 45 minutes for the attack and the ambush on Batman. We have 45 minutes for like the resolution. At the end of the movie, Gotham is a little bit more safe, but we have some other people trying to run around and take over some stuff. So, of course, Gotham is still in the same position, but Batman is a little bit closer. Hold on, let me turn up the music. But Batman is a little bit closer to knowing, like, what the hell is going on. When we get to the end of the film, Batman and Alfred. Oh, and I do have more people in this movie that are helping Batman. So as you can see, we do have Robin here. We do have Jeff Gordon, and we do introduce Barbara Gordon. She is in high school at this time. She's actually 1 year older than Dick. So she's actually not in high school. She's in college, sorry. And she's like, but she graduated like 2.5 years early. So she's been in college for a couple years. She's super smart. Obviously, she's going to be Oracle, right? But yeah, at the end of the movie, Batman gets a lot of headway on his investigation, and he finds out who is the proprietor of all these cabal of companies. And he just learns one word: savage. That's all he sees, savage. He's like, but it's not the word savage. It's like the word savage, but it's like, but it's an anagram. So it's like ESAGV, like it's something like that. So then Batman just looks at it real close, and then the film ends. Oh wait, no, sorry. Batman looks at that real close. And then he's trying to decipher it. He realizes it's an anagram, and then he sees the word savage. Once he sees the word savage, he thinks about it. He cross-references it with all the books he has from his research on Egypt. It just pans to Batman's eyes. He turns off the back stuff. He tells, and then he says, "Alfred, tell Robin that I'll be gone for 1 more week. I have to go to Egypt. I have to take an expedition to Cairo." So then Batman leaves, and that's the end of the movie, is Batman goes to Egypt. So that's the next film. That's the Batman movie. Now the next movie in the first phase of DC. Oh wait, I'm gonna have to go. You know what? I guess I just need to go download all these. Because so let me download these other ones. So the next movie, if I'm not mistaken, is the Flash movie. This is one of my favorite movies. The Flash of T.O. Morrow, like the Flash of Tomorrow, the Flash of T.O. Morrow. I don't know if y'all are familiar with T.O. Morrow in the comics, but this would be sick. And in this film, we would also introduce, what's her name? It is Jessica Cruz. Yes, we do introduce Jessica Cruz in this movie, who ends up becoming a Green Lantern much later. But we do introduce Jessica Cruz. All right. Oh, I made a way better Wonder Woman graphic, guys. Dang, I'm so sorry. I had a way better Wonder Woman graphic that I redid, that I really just want to download real quick just to show you. So then you can have a better idea of like what I'm thinking for Wonder Woman. This is organized so much better. Look at this equipment I'm getting. It's excellent. It's organized so much better. Let me go back. Okay, and then now let me go get the Flash. Let me get the movie after that, which is my Superman movie, which is my personal favorite. In case y'all don't know, Superman is my favorite movie. I mean, it's my favorite DC character. And then here's the Justice League movie. Alright. Well, I hope y'all are having fun, because I'm having fun talking about this, because this is stuff that I thought about for a while, and that I think would translate really well into film. Let me download this one. Get rid of this one. That's the Hot Girl movie. So, the Flash movie is a Barry Allen movie, and the really cool thing about this is Flash is technically the only sort of remnant from the previous universe, which would have been the James Gunn universe. But the Flash movie is about basically Flash finding his place as a hero. So in the beginning of the movies, in the beginning of the film, Flash does not have powers, but he does get them in the first 15 minutes. So how it works is, okay, so let me go ahead and bring up the Flash. Oh, but hold on. First, let me bring up the Wonder Woman graphic I was talking about. That was a lot better. See, this is, for real, this is set up good. I need the Dokkan to give me the Resurrection F Blues. Flash with Grant Gustin as actor would be peak. You know, I will say, my friend, this would be in 20 years. So Grant Gustin will be like 50. So I wouldn't cast him as the Flash, and I would cast, you know, I don't really care about the race, but I think that it would be cool to cast a mixed actor as the Flash, because I want them to have a really, because I want them to be from Florida, and I'm from Florida, and Florida is really naturally diverse. So I think that'll be a cool opportunity. But yeah, this is set up much better. This is a much better graphic. I kind of simplified it much better. So, you know, you see Ares here, you see like Demios, you see this girl here, you see Silver Swan, Dr. Psycho, this girl in the news, and Giganta. You see Wonder Woman, Patty, you see all the gods, you see Themyscira. So that would be the Wonder Woman movie. You see, so I should reset them all up just like this, but I haven't touched this in a while, but I absolutely can. But anyway, this is the Flash movie, The Flash of T.O. Morrow. So the Flash movie is a little bit more simple. We have, but I would put Grant Gustin in the movie as Jay Garrick. I would have him in the second Flash movie. Whenever wait, do I have the second or the third? No, it's the third Flash movie. Whenever Flash is in the future and he has to come back to the present time, and I would cast Grant Gustin in that as Jay Garrick or another version of Barry Allen. I would do that, absolutely 100%. But I would need a younger Barry, because I'll need the actor for about 15 years, you know. Excuse me. So, what the Flash of T.O. Morrow is about is, like I said, Flash is trying to find this place. So in the first 15-20 minutes, Flash he works at a police station. He's one of the forensic detectives, and you know, he's just doing his job. He's just kind of doing his thing, and his whole thing is that he kind of feels that, you know, in his city, it's all about being flashy, and it's all about having the fancy cars, and like all about the money, and all about being an influencer, and like you're invisible if you're not. But he thinks that normal everyday people just have a lot more to offer. But you know, when you live in Florida, that's kind of really the thing, like this flashy lifestyle. So take a little drink of water here. He really just wants to live like a very simple life. So, but there's times he kind of feels invisible. So he's just doing his work stuff. there's the, he has to go home, and then like, hey, like, Alan, we have to have those reports done. Take that stuff home. If you have to, then go to the lab, go to the after hours lab to complete it if you have to. So he's like, crap, he has to go to the after hours lab because he takes forever, doing his work. He's kind of a talkative guy at work. So, he's doing his work after the lab. And then he kind of hears something. He hears something like, he can't really make it out, but he hears something like, something in the future, something in the past, something. The next universe. He's like, what? And then he hears laughing. What? And he's like, what the heck? He's like, hey, is someone here? And then he just continues working. And then it starts storming. Next thing you know, bomb. He gets the lightning. And then obviously he becomes the Flash. So of course there's a big lightning flash. The ambulance was gonna come to get him, right? But how it works is, once it happens, like, he gets knocked out, right? But then his body starts vibrating, and then everything slows down. And then we see the scars on his head start to heal. And then he wakes up and he sees everything in slow motion. And he's like, what the heck is happening? He has no clue. He freaks out. He gets up, runs out, and it's this really awesome scene where he's just like running at super speed. He falls and he rolls like over. He gets some scars on gets some scars on his body. And then he gets up like, ow. And then, like, he kind of starts to limp away, and he starts to heal. And he's like, what the heck is going on? And he's kind of shaking. Breathes. And then the screen goes black. So, that's how Flash gets his powers. In this film, we have Flash's dad. Flash's mom is dead. You can guess who killed the Flash's mom, right? Flash's dad is not... Did I have Flash's dad in prison or not in prison? I don't actually remember if I had his dad in prison or not in prison right now. I think I had his dad not in prison. Because I'm gonna do something later with the Reverse Flash, where they find random evidence that makes no sense that his dad was involved. He says, "Gotta go and have to sleep. See you and have a nice stream." Hey, thanks, bro. I really do appreciate that. Get you some rest, bro. Is everybody still with me? Is everybody still interested in hearing about the DC films, or you guys want me to move on to the next topic? Y'all let me know. Now we're going on to the next movie. We're at a benchmark here. He said, "I'm fine listening to your ideas." All right, bro, big bet. I'll hold you to it. Okay, so these are the villains of this movie. We have T.O. Morrow, who is the main villain. He is a scientist. I don't know if you're familiar with the Red Tornado or with the, with like any of the Tornado Twins, like of the like androids, but he's the creator. So he is an influencer. He's a very rich influencer, but he's a criminal. He like does all sorts of bad stuff to get all his money, right? But he is an influencer. So he uses all that to get some money. In this movie, we do already have Captain Cold and Heatwave. They already have existed. But they've already been locked up. What Flash starts to do is he starts to like kind of understand his powers. And we do have Cisco Ramon in this movie. So we do borrow the idea from the Flash TV show that Cisco helps him with his powers, except Cisco is not like his best friend or anything. Cisco is just a guy that works at Star Labs that he communicates with on Zoom, and then he meets with a couple times in person to talk about his powers and kind of swears him to secrecy, right? So he only communicates with Cisco about some of the power stuff. Oh shite. Right. His like now the cop that he communicates with the most is Jessica Cruz. She's a cop in Central City PD, and he communicates with her the most for all the forensic stuff. They're like the same age, so they're cool with each other. They have like a rapport, right? So he starts to use his powers as he's understanding them to solve crime as he's doing them, right? He's able to solve crime a lot faster and just save people and stuff like that. You know, we see Flash going into buildings and saving people. Flash being able to do all sorts of things. Flash is starting to make a name for himself. So, as the Flash is making a name for himself, all this crime he's stopping is screwing up Tio Morrow's bottom line. We do have a cameo of Dr. Light in this movie. So if you don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Light, he's a villain in DC Comics. And we do have a cameo of him in Star Labs. He is giving a speech. He comes in from the outskirts of Gotham to give a speech on photonic technology. And we do have small cameos of the Reverse Flash. There's just one instance of where Barry's running, and then he sees like red eyes next to him. He thought he sees him for a second, and then he doesn't see him. He's like, what the heck? And then he just goes again. That's the Reverse Flash. We get one little cameo. What the first thing Tio Morrow does is he uses his money and influence to get Heatwave and Leonard Snart out of jail, and then he upgrades their weapons. Nice. Then he upgrades their weapons, and he he tells them to get the Flash. So you see like a theme in all these movies. It's like bottom line, like the first phase is we need to assassinate the Justice League. Because none of them can ever do this, that's why they end up coming together. So so obviously they're unable to defeat Barry. He jails them again. So then Tio Morrow ends up making the Tornado Twins to take Barry out. Barry, with the help of Jessica and Cisco, are able to take out the Tornado Twins, and he's trying to prove that it was Tio Morrow who did it, but he basically still can't prove it by the end of the movie. Oh wait, no, sorry. He does prove that it was Tio Morrow by the end of the movie who did that. So they launch an investigation and find out that he was true, but Tio Morrow already left the country. So now he's living over in Corto Maltese, where he has diplomatic immunity. So Flash is like, well, at least he's out of Central City. So they all like celebrate at the end. At the very end of the film, we do have a Reverse Flash post-credit scene. We're just going to leave it at that. Alright, so that is the Flash movie. Would you like to go to the next one? the next movie is the Superman film. Let me know, would you like to go to the next one, bro? I'm loving all this equipment. I have 3 of those. 5 of those would be nice. You want to go to the Superman movie next, my friend? We can go to the Kal-El film. Okay, we got double silver crits. Okay, we're going to the next film. Undertale Pro says yes. Going to the next movie. Next movie is the Superman movie. This is one of my favorites. Okay, so Superman movie is a really good one. One thing that we're gonna do is, hold on, first thing I want to do before we get into the Superman movie is check out our low class warriors and see how our equipment is looking. So I don't think Bardock can use that low class warrior equipment, can he? Nope, not at all. That's so sad. He can't either. I don't have access to any of that equipment. Let me see. Probably that Bardock doesn't either. Does this Bardock though? That's a question for you. Does not look like it. Nope. He also doesn't have access. So it's literally only these free to plays. Not even her, huh? Not even Fasha. Trash. Okay, so let's look at Tora, right? Tora already has some good stuff here. But with these 5 defenses, that's defense plus 1,000. Hello? That is like top tier. That makes me want to put like... Do I have any dual defense? See, because if I give this to Tora, he can get above 10k. Look at that. Now he's a defensive beast. But I really do want Tora to be able to get additional attacks. I really just want it to be over 10. So I could get rid of 1,000 and get a 5. So I have a 5, yes. So that's fine. Yeah, this is perfect. So right over 10k. 40% chance to perform an additional attack. That's good. That's good for Tora. I like that. Shugesh is the additional attack master. I actually have to see what Shugesh does real quick. My mom texted me. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. I want to take a look at Shugesh. I mean Borgos. Okay, with the EZA, launches an additional super. Okay, high chance of performing a crit. So he just wants additionals. He wants additionals. Okay. Alright, well, we'll work on that more later. Let me get back to the story. Let's get back to the story. Okay. So, now we get into the Superman film. Now, we find Superman. He's already been Superman for like about 3 years. So, he's kind of in the groove of being Superman. He's been dating Lois for about 4 years. So, they were dating before he was like Superman to the whole public as like Kal-El himself. We do have her dad, General Lane, in the film. What do you think the next Dokkan Fest is going to be? It's a good question. The next shoot. Oh man, it's impossible to tell at this point. It could be anything, but I would wager it could be an extreme unit. Maybe something from the Future Saga, or maybe something from maybe something from the Saiyan Saga. Could be something from the Majin Buu Saga. I don't think Cell Saga stuff. I don't think any movie character. I think something from a saga. I mean, technically, Dragon Ball Heroes might have a Dokkan Fest. So I guess Dragon Ball Heroes is the next Dokkan Fest. So, Superman is doing his thing, and he's focusing on being a reporter. Superman has a... Now, he doesn't really have that. He didn't have a problem with Lex Luthor, but Lex Luthor has talked shit about Superman before. So Superman's like, I don't know why he got a problem with me. Like, he's... And then... Because he had a problem with him, Superman kind of spied on him as Superman. He's like, this guy is into some weird stuff, and he's calling me out. Like, I should... But you want to see Battle of Gods. I would love to see a Battle of Gods celebration. That would be wonderful. If they did do a movie celebration, that's the only one I would condone. So, he doesn't really like that about Lex, right? Lex Luthor, most people view him as a billionaire genius playboy philanthropist. That's how most people view him, and he's helped so many charities. They like him in like politics and culture and everything. Everyone just likes him. So Superman would have a real problem trying to tell people that he was, that he was a weird guy or whatever. So what ends up happening in this film is that a lot of this movie is not actually Superman doing a ton of fighting. So there's not a ton of action in the respect that Superman is doing a whole lot of fighting. Like, and we're going to make Superman funny. We're going to make him have a sense of humor. Not like a comedy, but we're going to make him have a sense of humor. We're going to really focus on the relationship between him and Lois and make them have really good chemistry. They're going to be tag teaming on a lot of, the Lex Luthor investigation. She's not really a damsel in distress at all, except for one time in the movie whenever he has to come get her because the building might explode. So they're kind of searching around. Now, there are some things, like there are some cases where Superman is doing the detective thing and then he gets sidetracked because there's something that he has to handle where we get some action. What ends up happening is Lex Luthor is doing experiments on people because he's discovered the meta gene, and he's trying to figure out how to access it because it's different with every person. He's trying to get that to a science, how to access this meta gene. So he's doing some experimentation on this guy. He, in this film, just so you see what's on this graphic. Matter of fact, let me enlarge it just slightly. You see the villains on this graphic. We have Lex Luthor, we have the Parasite, we have Vandal Savage. So that's Vandal Savage right there for anyone who was wondering, who didn't know. Like what Vandal Savage looked like. And I know I'm playing Dokkan and I'm talking about DC. I like to talk about this stuff too. We talk about everything here. Now, that's Vandal Savage. The only reason why they're there is because there is a cameo of them. There is a short cameo because Lex Luthor has a meeting with them regarding Nth Metal and how he also wants his pieces because he wants to use it to build an experimental military technology, a personal experimental military technology, aka his suit. So he leaves this meeting. That's where we have our first cameo of Vandal Savage and of Dr. Light. When he goes to this facility. This is like one of the big climaxes of the movie, like the big rising action. As Clark and Lois are trying to find everything, and he's trying to use his hearing and his sight to find it, but Lex Luthor's been one step ahead, and he's used a lead undercasing which Superman can't see through for his underground facility where he does tests underneath one of his charity buildings, right? So Superman is flying and he has to end up taking care of a battle. So then Lois goes in and she's investigating, and she gets in, and then she's able to get a little bit of evidence of what Lex is doing. Well, she tries to get some evidence of what Lex is doing. Get a little drink of water. She tries to get some evidence of what Lex is doing. So then she goes down these steps, and then she's hiding, and then she sees that they're experimenting on this guy, on this poor guy, and he's kind of in pain, but then he's kind of like changing a little bit. And then Lex is like, okay, we've got what we needed from this one. Let's just kill him and let's get out of here. Let's just kill him. So then Lex leaves. She tries to kind of get down there a little bit more, but then she's spotted. So then they freak out. They set the self-destruct and they leave. She runs in and tries to set the guy loose, but then she starts to freak out and she tries to start going back up the stairs. So as Soups is done with this battle, she tries to call him, and then he hears that and he speeds all the way to her, gets her, and then gets out of the building right before the explosion. So then there's the big explosion and Superman takes her. He asks if there's anyone else in the building. She says there was just the guy that they were experimenting, but he's dead now, like the building blew up. So he's like, damn. So they fly away. They come back, but the guy didn't die. The guys, what they did and what the experiment did with his metagene, he becomes the parasite. What the parasite has abilities. He can absorb kinetic energy, and he can also create sludge to go inside of you and infect you and like basically kill you. He also basically has a kind of level of super strength because he builds upon himself. Like, it's this purple guy, that's his final form, but that big purple guy is really just like a skinny guy, but he becomes the parasite and he's like brainless. And all the parasite wants to do is eat or be like a parasite. So he's like a brainless thing. The parasite's taking control of him. So the parasite is tearing through this city. Superman goes to fight him, and then Superman's doing okay, but because Superman is freaking Superman and he can't outfight Superman, the parasite excretes some of his parasitic venom into Superman. So then Superman starts getting sick. Lois basically has to kind of help him, and he has to call some of the drones from the fortress to come over and help him get into the fortress to help him out. Once he heals up, he basically has to have a conversation with the AI, which is like his dad and his mom, telling him that, look, like, yes, you have invincibility and all this stuff, but, you know, if something gets inside of you, it can just get trapped inside of you, and it could kill you. So you need to be careful as well of, you know, you have to take care of yourself and be careful of what gets inside of your body, because once it gets inside of your body, then all bets are off. It could go well, or it could go good or bad. So the point of this is we're exposing some of Superman's weaknesses and his overzealousness going in thinking he's invincible. So he goes back, he gets some technology to cover up his face, and he also gets a device that can destroy the parasite without killing the guy. So then they can save the guy and get rid of the parasite in the process. Superman goes back and he's fighting the parasite, and then it gets to the very end. Once he's about to use this device to save the guy and get rid of the parasite, Lex Luthor comes up with a big blast of technology, and he kills the parasite. He destroys it. So then everyone thinks that Lex Luthor is the savior. Like, wow, Lex Luthor saved the day. He's so awesome. He has this really cool. He had this like really cool gun that destroyed the parasite, something that Superman couldn't even do. So, you know, Lex loves to take that credit. Of course, you know. Oh man, this music was loud, wasn't it? So of course Superman loves to take the credit. I mean, of course Lex loves to take the credit. It sucks for Superman, but you know, at the end of the day, Superman is hopeful that the truth will come out, and you know, now at least they know what he's doing. And as Superman, he was able to secretly go in, like destroy some of the other metahuman labs and save some of the other metahumans. How the movie ends is, and this is where the movie ends with that cameo of Vandal Savage and Dr. Light. That's when they're in the room whenever Lex is talking about how that gun he made was a good prototype, but he'll need way more nth metal to create what he's trying to create. They're like, well, what are you trying to create, Luthor? And he's like, this is an experimental piece of military technology. And he just smiles. Well, but before that, Vandal Savage is sure to say that their plans are in order to extract as much nth metal as they need very soon. Okay, so that is the Superman movie. It's pretty simple. It's like a pretty simple Superman movie. It would just have like a lot of laughs. It would have just like a lot of cool. It would have like a lot of cool action. You know, a lot of cool Superman action, and a really great fight with Parasite. Yeah, that'll be a good one. I have a lot of ideas for visuals for that movie, but yeah, that's what that will be. So, on Undertale Pro, before I go to Hawk Girl, which is the next movie that comes before Justice League, it leads directly into Justice League. They would shoot back to back. Before I go into that, I would love to know your thoughts and opinions on these films so far. Like, what do you think about them so far? I would love to know what you think of this so far. Let's see Tora in action now. Oh crap. I have 8 of these. 8 of those. I'm getting pretty close to where I want to be here. I'm going to go take a look at my hidden potential soon. And just a couple more. But before I go to Hot Girl, I would love to know what you think. So please type everything you think. I would actually like to know what you think if you can, Metal Tail. If you're interested. If not, I don't want to bother you, bro. But I would actually like to know what you think about, like, movie by movie. Kind of what you think about them. If you have any ideas you would want to see in them. I'm going to go use the bathroom real quick. But I would love to know what you think. Please write it down and I'll be able to, and I'll like read it aloud and all of that. The grinding's going good. VR guy, welcome to the stream. I took a short break. Been streaming for a while. We were just sitting here talking about my ideas for the future of DC Comics, where in 20 years, if they let me take over, I will. And I'll make some of the best DC movies you've ever seen. So we just got to the Superman film. Yeah, there have been a lot of DC films, but most of them are not very good. If I keep it 100 with you, Metal Tail, that's why I want to redo it. Now, we just did Superman now. Let's go ahead and go into the next film, which would be Hot Girl. So this is an event movie because we're going to have multiple Justice League characters in this one film. Okay, so we have seen Dr. Light cameo in 2 films before this. This is the movie where Dr. Light is the main villain. So, the story of Hot Girl is about... Now, this is not an assassination attempt. Like a lot of the other movies, there have been assassination attempts. This is not that. This ain't that. They're trying to capture her so they can extract the nth metal from her, which they can use. Will it kill her? They don't know. They don't really care, but they're just going to extract the nth metal from her for their own ends. So, of course, Lex Luthor has a facility already built because we've already discovered he has facilities that, he has facilities he experiments on metahumans, so he has the technology and the know-how to make those type of facilities. We have Dr. Light in there, and the point is he's been tasked with getting the nth metal for Vandal Savage because he wants to be a part of the Society of Light. He's like, I'm Dr. Light. How can I not be a part of the Society of Light? He's kind of a little bit on the ego trip. So, he's honestly a little bit of a bitch. Like, he's kind of afraid. He doesn't really want to fight, but he has been working on that light technology, which could allow him to, be a formidable foe. In the very beginning of this movie, they tasked this character right here. I forget the name right now. It's like Death Slasher or something. He's just like a one-off character. He wasn't really in DC Comics much. But him and Taskmaster... Wait, no, sorry. Him and Cheshire. Him and Cheshire would go and get this done. But, so they go and try to capture Shiera. But the thing about Shiera is that her powers are not just outward. They manifest whenever she's in distress. So they try to get her. She basically gets away with her strength and her powers and her wings. They go back to Dr. Light to be like, well, we didn't get her. This guy on the left here that has that picture, he tries to get all sassy with Dr. Light, and Dr. Light literally burns him alive with the light technology. He actually doesn't mean to, but he's like, wow, it really does work really good. Because he's just a human, right? So then he makes Cheshire the leader, because what he did is he hired both of them. This time he says, look, I'm going to make you the leader. You find whoever you want to lead, and y'all go get her. So she enlists her father, Taskmaster, because he's the only one he know that is probably she trusts enough to get it done. So Taskmaster and her try to go after Shiera. Now, this is the thing about this movie. This movie has Batman in it and Alfred. Now, if you remember Metal Undertale Pro, in the movie, let me do this a couple more times. In the movie, the second movie in this whole phase, the second movie, the Batman movie, right? At the end, Batman goes to Egypt. You remember he found out about Vandal Savage. He went to Egypt. Well, what did he find in Egypt? he found out what they're looking for. So he discovered the tales and the history and the legends about the Hawk Woman. So he's already back in Gotham, and he's been watching her. She is 22 years old. She was not able to go to college out of high school because she had to work. So she wasn't able to go to college. She finally saved up enough money to go to college. So she recently just applied. But the thing is, she applied recently to Gotham State University, where she would do most of her classes online and stuff like that. Well, Batman has already discovered who she is by this time, and he gave her a full ride scholarship randomly. So she got a full ride scholarship, and she's been living nice. And really, he's been keeping an eye on her, unbeknownst to her. She doesn't know this. So, as Taskmaster and Cheshire are coming after her, he's kind of watching from afar and watching her handle her own. But this time, she's kind of getting her ass beat by them, and they're about to get her. So then Batman steps in, and then he fights them off. He gets Shiara, and he brings her back to her house. And he basically just explains like, hey, look, you're not really safe here, as you can see. They're probably just going to come back, and you may have more damage to your house next time. He says, I have like a secure place you can go, but really you need to train, because this is not going to be the last time that somebody comes after you. She's all like, how do you know me? She's kind of like a hothead at first. Batman wants her to train, but at first she's like, no, I don't want to. It's like, screw you, bro. She kind of does a little bit of training on her own. Like, you know, she starts punching a little bit, going to the gym and stuff, but she doesn't really have actual combat training, right? So it comes again that she's coming home from college at night from studying, and here's Cheshire and Taskmaster on her ass again. So they come to get her. This time they do capture her. They bring her back to the facility. Oh wait, sorry, I messed up the story. I messed up my own story. I got ahead of myself. First, she does go train with Batman. So he tells her she should go train, and she goes, fine, I will go train with Batman. She goes to train with him for like a little bit, but then she gets she's a hothead, so she gets in her feelings, and she gets annoyed by Batman's temperament. She meets Robin. She trains with Robin for like a little bit, but she gets annoyed, so she leaves and says, look, I don't need this, screw it, thanks for the help, but I'm fine. She goes, she keeps kind of training on her own, but she gets captured by them. They start to try to extract the nth metal. But she kind of goes insane. And she's just kind of, it's like, ow, ow. But Batman realizes from the tales and the legends from the Hawk Woman that there's potentially one item, an ancient weapon that can kind of give her power. But it's kind of dangerous, because if she has it, she becomes very powerful. So he didn't give it to her before. But he finds out that she's been taken. And he sees that she's covered by Dr. Light, by all these goons. He tries to figure out, okay, how can I get this to her? So Batman goes to her location, and as he's getting closer, he has the suitcase with her mace, the nth metal mace, and it starts vibrating. It starts vibrating and vibrating. And as he gets really close to her, he just drops the suitcase in there. He just drops in there. And she kind of looks at it, and then she feels something, and then it comes to her, and she breaks out. She spreads her wings, and now there's a whole fight, right? She fights, and she breaks her way out. But now we have Dr. Light, Taskmaster, and Cheshire versus Batman and Hawkgirl. So she's fighting all of them off. They basically fight them all off, and it's a pretty cool little fight. They fight them off. At the end, she goes back to the Batcave to train, because she realizes, all right, like, I can't be out here alone right now, some crazy stuff is going on. This guy brought me this, like, there's stuff going on that even I don't understand. So she goes back to the Batcave. How it ends for Dr. Light is he gets scolded by Vandal Savage because Vandal Savage gave him everything he needed to be able to get her, but he still failed. So then Dr. Light pleads to have one more chance to get her. And Vandal Savage basically says, all right, look, you'll have your chance. You'll have your chance sooner than you think. And that's kind of how that ends. In the post-credit scene, we would have a scene with T.O. Morrow, Vandal Savage, Dr. Ivo, Dr. Psycho, like all of the scientists, and they will be creating a Mazo. So that is the Hot Girl movie. Just give me 1 second. What do you think about that movie, man? Does that sound interesting? This is Majin Vegeta's OST. So Undertale Pro, what do you think about the Hot Girl movie? Yeah, I like this OST as well. What do you think about the Hot Girl movie though, my friend? I would love to know. Okay, so now she's going to raise defense on her super. Yeah, so let me hit this. The 5 and 5. There we go. I think she has enough additional by now. I will take 1,000 defense. I could do 500 more defense. %15 more chance to dodge. I can give her more defense. I'm thinking about like difficult content. I almost would rather have more super. %26 chance, so at least she has an over 25% chance to perform the additional. I really would like to get over 15. Only way I could do that is oh shit. I would have to just get rid of this 1,000 defense here, which I don't want to do. I really like these movie ideas. You do your thing, my boy. I'm thinking about this Fasha right now. Man. I mean, she's more utility anyway. So, I mean, really, this is probably fine. Well, they have that weird hidden potential. Okay. Let's look towards good. Borgos. Let's look at the god Borgos now. He needs to be an additional attack fiend. Additional here. For sure. This 4 is good. But 5 is better. And then let's give him crit additional, shall we? Okay, Borgos is looking good. Almost like would rather give him defense. I mean, this is like 1,500. Like, having an extra 1,500 defense is like no joke, bro. That extra defense is serious. He has over 30% chance to perform the additional. That's good enough for me. Shugesh, additional attack and dodge. But I don't need no crit. See, I need another additional dodge now. Already. Motherfuckers, I could put a 6 on him though. Nah, that's straight. But here, I'm definitely going defense anyway for Shugesh. I definitely want the extra defense for him. Here I want extra defense as well. And then here I want the additional attack. That's my last one too. I didn't even do Bardock yet. He needs way more additional attack than that. I gave him 7 dodge. I'm gonna have to switch all this dodge to additional. So I need to just get some more Shugeshes. I need to get some more Shugeshes. So I'm gonna switch this dodge to additional. And then I'm gonna switch like 2. I think I'm gonna switch all the dodges to additional actually. It just makes way more sense now for him to just get multiple attacks. The defense looks good. He just needs to be able to get multiple attacks. So I'll do that. Bardock's really the last one. I'm building him out different now because I'm pretty sure that now he gets defense on pretty sure now he gets defense on super attack. Yep, he gets defense now, super attack. So I'm also going to need more Bardocks to redo his hidden potential, but he's certainly going to have no crit now. All additional and dodge. I'm going to need another additional there. He would really benefit from one of these defensive ones, having the damage reduction. Yeah, this is going to look very good on Bardock. At 11 grand, 50% defensive reduction on this team. That's hot. This is going to be a 5 additional. And this is going to be a 3 additional. Let's do it like that. So I still need to do that a couple more times anyway. Okay, so let me go back and now let's talk about the Justice League. And then we'll finish off the DC movies. I mean, we have way more movies after that, but that's where we're going to finish it for now. Alright, so just because this is a big movie, I'm going to make this big real quick. So, here we have the first Justice League movie. Pretty big movie, right? We have Batman, Hawkgirl, Superman, Wonder Woman, and the Flash. Really, I already said that, I think. Those are the main ones. Green Lantern comes in at the very, very end. Zatanna's in the post-credit scene. Robin is in the movie too. His last appearance as Robin is here. Actually, psych. I mean, he's gonna be Robin, but he's really Nightwing. He's gonna be dressed as Robin, but it's basically gonna be like a Nightwing suit, but he's just gonna still be calling himself Robin. But he's gonna be Nightwing without knowing he's Nightwing. So this movie is gonna go pretty crazy. Let me get the chat up. So this movie is gonna go crazy, right? The very beginning of this movie, we have Flash in the Batcave, and Hawkgirl in the Batcave, and Robin in the Batcave, all training. We have Wonder Woman as well. So Wonder Woman is training Hawkgirl. Flash is working on drills with Batman. And and Robin is kind of just like in awe of this whole thing. He's like, this shit is crazy. And he's just realizing how to do this. So that's giving you an innuendo of Robin's next role when he becomes Nightwing, the team he's going to lead, right? So they're all training in there. Wonder Woman has to cut it short. She has to go back to her hometown. Because she has to work her shift. And they're like, really, Diana? Like, and then she's like, I still got to work my shift, Bruce. Like, well, she's not going to call him Bruce. Like, I still have to work my shift, you know? So, she's going to go work her shift. She's going to go work her shift, and Hawk Girl ends up basically leaving. Barry's the only one that stays behind, and he's kind of being annoying. So then, like, Batman just tells him, you know, why don't you go ahead and leave? So, you know, everyone goes home for the night. As Hawk Girl is on her way home, on her motorcycle, she gets pegged by two other motorcycles following her. She gets pegged by two other motorcycles following her. These two motorcycles are Cheshire and Deathstroke. So, no more Taskmaster. He's out because he failed. Now it's Cheshire and it's Deathstroke. So they're trying to get Hawk Girl. She already sees who it is. She's been training, even though she's. Oh wait. Yeah, and you know, they weren't training for that long that night. They were probably training for about an hour. So it's honestly just like a pretty good warm up. So she flies out of the motorcycle. She throws the mace at Deathstroke's motorcycle. It blows up and he obviously hops off of it. It blows up. He starts running and they start trying to get her. So now they start tag teaming her. She's doing the best she can. Cheshire acknowledges that she's gotten quite a bit better. So that's going on, but they still are starting to overpower her. But Batman is already on their tail. Now, what they've done is, Batman is on their tail, and like Batman starts to fight them, and he starts to like gain some headway on them, and they start to win. So then their plan is to go into the nearest city, take the fight into the city so it can distract them. So they take the fight into the nearest city and they disrupt the city. So now they're like crap. So Batman calls Barry in. Come in, you are on, like, you need to come and get all the citizens evacuated out of here. They're bringing the fight here. We don't know how big this can get. So Flash and Robin start to come in and start to get people evacuated, right? So now we have Batman, Hawk Girl versus Deathstroke and Cheshire. Okay. Whenever they get into the city, sorry, I don't know how my voice cracked. Sorry about that. whenever they get into the city, they're still fighting and they're doing fine. Everything's going according to plan. But then, because they're overpowered, Cheshire calls in the Swan. So Silver Swan from the Wonder Woman movie, who is right here. Right here, Silver Swan from the Wonder Woman movie comes in, and then so now Cheshire and the Silver Swan are going after Hot Girl. Batman calls in Diana, so now Diana has to leave work. She swoops in, and now we have Hot Girl versus the Silver Swan. Hot Girl and Diana versus the Silver Swan, whose body has been upgraded with nth metal, because they took a lot of the nth metal from her feathers from the last battle and they applied it to Silver Swan, so she's been upgraded. So they are fighting her a little bit, but they're overpowering her. Then they send in the Star Sapphire, so now we have a big battle. All the characters you see on screen end up getting in the movie. It's a huge fight. Okay, it's a humongous fight. And the whole movie is really just all action. Like, it's actually kind of crazy. All these characters show up, all of them fight. It basically ends up being Superman and Wonder Woman versus Amazo. They send in drones. They have to fight the drones. I think that's actually why they had to send Wonder Woman in as well, because there was drones. But yeah, man, I'm gonna do like this. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave this. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this now. But just want to talk about all that DC stuff for a while. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I see it. Get low. So one thing I also need to do real quick is I need to go get multiple fascias and multiple Bardocks. 5 Bardocks, 5 fascias. Multiple. I need the multiples. His defense is looking good. Her defense, see, now everybody's at least in the 9s. He's at 11. That's really where I wish they all were. See, being over 10, that's that sauce. She could get over 10. If I gave her a defensive. No, I think I will do that. I think I have one more. I have 2 more. Excellent. So, yep, so now she's over 10. I would rather do a 5 additional here and a 5 defense here. So I'd rather do this. And then I'm going to do a 5 additional here. For right now, I'm going to do the 4 additional. That's this, because I have to get another 5 additional. But she's going to have 10 and 10. 10 dodge, 10 additional. So 10% dodge, 20% chance to do the additional. Over 10k defense. Borgos. He has 6 crit where he could have additional. And he has a 50% chance to crit where I need him to crit. So it's almost like I would rather do defense here. And I'm going to just switch out one of these crits for I actually need to switch out 2 of those crits for additional attack. Or maybe just one of these. 2, 1. All these are 1. There's a 2. But that's already a... Is there a 2 crit somewhere? Two crit, where you at? There it is, but that's a dodge in place. Did I give him as much additional as I could? I mean, I would have to switch out that crit and this crit. So 2 crits. I would need 2 Borgoses. Now I do wonder if I reverse. Well, I'll check that right now. My question is, if I reverse Borgos, will I be able to do what I'm trying to do? Okay, so yeah, let me see if I can't get a Borgos, and then from there I can see if I can use one of those to reverse one of those what's called crits to additional. I want him to just have a 30% chance. Like, if he can have 30% chance to do the crit and over 10,000 defense, to do the additional and over 10,000 defense, that's good. And all of them have over 10,000 defense. I would like to see what their stat looks like on their 200% team. I have to increase Bardock, and I definitely need. I need probably 15. I might need 15 Bardocks. Yep, so here we go. We got the Borgos. So if I reverse Borgos, ha! It works. Okay, cool. So I just need one more Borgos. And then I'll put him at 15. Very good. But there's that, my friend. There is that. I'm still grinding it up, man. I'm still grinding it up. I'm about to take a little bite of my peanut butter cracker. Yeah, you see that the auto clicker is green. There we go. Now I have my. Now I have my 30% chance to do an additional attack, 8% chance to crit over 10k defense. Have to switch. I need a lot of these Bardocks. I really need another Shugesh as well. But maybe I only can get away with only one Shugesh. That's a 1. Every place I see dodge is a 1 or a crit. So I'm going to need 2 Shugeshes for this. No. Wait. One of these? No. The heck? I'm trying to think how to. I thought I would be able to give him 2 more additional. Huh. Maybe we might have to leave it like this. At least he's still over 25% chance, so I guess that's good. Tor's at 20. Okay, so now let me go back over here and do this a few more times. This time, let me actually use like, oh, I have to use them. I have to use these units. I've got no choice, mate. Silver, that's what I need, silver. Tor's defense still pretty pitiful. I gotta see him on 200%. He's over 2 million though. Silver, okay, I need silver additional plus 5. I really need 2 of them. 2 silver additionals plus 5. Close. Very close, but no cigar. I really need silver. I need silver. Additional +5. Yes! I got one of them. Excellent. Giving it to Fasha. Ladies first, and now she's good. Now I just gotta get her to level 15. Get this last one. Yeah, I know you hit the joint's ear. Yeah, I know what you done neared. You're full of fear. Yeah, I know what you just fear. We got all kinds of fascias. I kind of wish all of them were apes. That would have been great. If all these units were apes and they all could have linked with other fascias and stuff like that. Close but no cigar. Close but no cigar. Undertale Pro, if you can tell everybody in the Discord that if anybody wants to come through, I'm streaming. Peanut butter crackers darn good, man. Yes, as you can see, I got what I wanted, bro. So now, I just got to get the Bardocks and the Fascias, and my team is done. All ready. And I'm going to use them in fighting Legend Vegeta. I need Bardocks primarily. Let's break out all the stops. I actually want to take a look at this team now, so let's bring Borgos, you. Let's bring my own Fascia. Let's look at Team Bardock. I want to actually look at their stats, how they look. Don't y'all have the auto button on global as well? I thought you had the auto button. I feel pretty confident that y'all have the auto button over there on. Okay. 200k from Borgos start a turn. He'll get a 50% raise. He'll go to 300k. Could potentially go to 450k. That's good. Okay. No support. That's good. Let's look at the stat. $3 million, damn near. Yeah, I would say level 10 links, he'd be at 3 million. That's good, man. 50% chance to crit. That's good. Okay, not bad. I didn't even notice if I got a Bardock or not. Okay, I got one on the bonus. Let me use another boost. I'm trying to get like 4 Bardocks. Let me use Bella. Let me see what Tora. Yeah, good. I want to see what Tora looks like first round. Let's see Tora. Really want to see how quickly Tora can stack. If Tora can get above 300k in 3 turns, above 400k in 3 turns, he's very good. Every link active probably. Oh, every link except 1. Only 159k. That's horrible. That's bullshit. He's completely Extreme Z Awakened. He's at 159,000. What the hell? What in Sam Hill? Got 3 Bardocks. Oof. This grinding's getting tiring. Give me 1 second. Okay, Undertale Pro, are you with me? Hey, Undertale Pro, are you with me? Hey, tell me, are you with me? I go overseas, niggas staying over Sydney. Back in the day, and they were with me. Nah, let's go to the dealership, tell them with me. You get a shorty really pretty. Get my chicken really crispy. Looking like I get a flippy. Undertale, are you with me? If you're not, that's okay. Hey. Undertale, are you with me? I wonder. Who will pop in? Oh, this is a great one. Undertale said he's with me. I'm summoning with you, Undertale. I'm summoning with you. Yarj, Boo, Chaozu, Kuririn, Furisa, or Gowasu. That's trash. Here, Undertale. I'll do one more. Last one for the homie Undertale Pro. Seeing if we can't get that Torah. Torah, you with me? Grinding for the next multi. Thank you, bro. Thank you for the luck. I appreciate it. 5, 7, 9, twine, 10. Nada, Brody. Nada. Nothing, man. I think my luck has run out on this banner. Well, I think that's about it for me for the stream tonight, man. I'm tired. I'm a very tired man. It's time for me to go to bed. Or at least get ready for bed, I think. But thanks for hanging out with me.